to break down, honestly. Loving the start to the year. Well, true. There is sometimes pulling teeth a little bit to get people to participate, but I think that's, pretty much in general, it happens.
Hey, Coach Matt, how's it going? Sorry about that. I was having some mic
Oh, you're good, bro.
issues.
You are good. How you doing, Riz?
I'm doing good. Happy New Year, by the way. I heard you.
Happy New Year to you. Did you do anything special for the New Year?
No, I just stayed at home. I usually make menudo, which is like a Mexican pork stew. So I made that and just had the family over as always, and we just hung out.
Just hung out. What time did you go to bed? Did you beat 11
Oh,
o'clock?
oh, definitely. I didn't go to sleep till like maybe almost 4.
Oh, wow. Oh, I was in bed watching a movie at 11. It's fantastic. My wife was, she had to travel to her family, so we had just kind of a laid back night at the house.
Right
Played some
on.
games. Yeah, it was fun. Had the kids over. It was way fun. Very enjoyable.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
Had some time off away from the market, which got me way excited for the kickstart this year. I also think today's the real first pricing of the market this year. I thought Friday was kind of that, but I thought today was kind of like the real kickstart to the year.
Yeah, a lot of interesting
How's
stuff
your
over the
trading day been
weekend.
going?
Trading day wasn't bad, you know. Trading day wasn't bad. I was up, or I'm up 30% for the day, and then also doing something different. I'm starting a long 30-day out swing position on BTC since we broke out at some, kind of interesting levels to me. So
You're going the position trader route?
yes, I'm taking a
Oh, I
30-day out
like
swing.
it. I like it.
It's part of my New
I
Year's
honestly,
resolution.
I think it's important to have time frames working, like more than just one. I think it's important to have things working on the day chart, the weekly chart, the
Mhm.
obviously the intraday chart, but I think those things are important.
Yeah, one of my New Year's resolutions was that I wanted to start swing trading, and in the morning when I reprop it, instead of putting that money back in the market or just sitting on it, the positions I would normally just kind of put on my watch list and just say like, it'd be nice to take that.
Let them cook
Now,
for a second.
now I'm gonna take the
Like
trade. I'm
instead
gonna
of
take
using
the
it in the
trade
frying
and
pot, you're in the crock pot. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm like,
Let that slow cook a little bit. No, I love swing trading, Riz, and swing trading's always been a core of what I do. I categorize myself as swing trader. I will always love swing trading, and it's similar to day trading, obviously, technically, but the thing I love about swing trading is there's not a billion levels. It's not as overwhelming,
mhm.
and there might be a lot of patterns. There might be a lot of that type of stuff, but there's kind of only so many ways you swing trade. It's not an unlimited forms of systems out there. In day
Mhm.
trading, you have truly an unlimited amount of systems out there because there's so many different ways to parse the intraday conversation. That's not the case on the daily chart, which is obviously the epicenter for most swing trades.
Mhm.
Plus, they're like cousins, swing trading and day trading.
Definitely. And also I find myself kind of scrambling, with so much going on through the intraday and then also trying to, fit in a zero GTE that you have to have eyes on it, at all times on a zero
All time.
GTE because of everything, that can go against it. Man, with the swing trade, you don't need that. You have a little bit more time to process it. And really, what I want to do is I want to get into a position and just hold it for the month and it just be kind of making me money through the month and not be all
Yeah.
stressed out. So, I'm trying to adjust my trading, for kind of the
You're trying to
environment
extend
that
your
we're in.
horizon a little, right? That's kind of
Exactly.
one of your goals this year is to extend your
Yeah.
horizon a little bit.
I want to get better as a trader, also.
Yeah, and honestly, I because I come from a bunch of swing traders and position traders, and I'll tell you, like in that community, I'm always talking to them about trying to understand the intraday side of the equation because it helps you as a swing trader. But I'll tell you right now, as a day trader is, and you're an amazing day trader, but as a day trader, that skill set's just going to make you that much of a better swing trader because you
Mhm.
already know your execution time frames and you already know how to manage those stop losses and honestly the difficult part is you're going to have to get accustomed to not making as quick of decisions. Like you obviously see that as a benefit, right? Like it's a slower pace. I have time to breathe. I have time to process all the information. All of that is 100% true. But if you come from day trading and you're trying to really kind of learn about swing trading, or not learn about, it, but starting to kind of adopt it as a style for you, it's lazier than you think. And sometimes you're gonna want to make decisions, and it's just like, nope, too quick, too quick. Let it work
Mhm.
out.
Got
My
it.
way of saying don't overanalyze every doji on the daily chart.
Yeah, I'm really
Hey,
excited.
RQ. Oh, go ahead, Riz.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, I was just gonna ask RQ about what he thought about the Venezuela news. You too, Riz.
It's an interesting situation we're in over there because, you know, historically, this has not worked out in our favor. Going into another country, putting in a new government that is normally doesn't work in our favor.
Hold on.
So,
You're telling me when we take over another country, take the resources out of that country, that doesn't work out for us?
well, the finance part does, but
A little sarcasm there, brother. Little sarcasm. We're
yeah.
we're 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 the aliens in that analogy, but yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I guess it just, really the unfortunate thing about that is it really depends on what side of the spectrum you're on. I think
Yeah,
from an investor aspect, I think it brings in uncertainty. I think it brings in some euphoria that, oh, everything's going to be great. But then the reality should set in that, you know, it
that those
brings
energy companies
uncertainty.
aren't going to be pumping 1 million barrels of oil into the market for about 3 years. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly that. You've got the time frame
it's
it's
going to
going
take
to take for
time
them to ramp
to
up.
build that out.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking at 2 to 3 years from us really seeing
You know,
a real benefit from that.
and that's if
Then
it goes good.
that's if it goes good. The other byproduct, I think, is the other worrying factors is that we have other parts of the world that are also in similar situations. You got Ukraine and Russia, you got China over
China,
there.
Taiwan,
I
Iran,
mean,
and everybody.
Iran and everybody, Israel and everyone.
Mhm.
Tit for tat is what worries me in that destabilization. That's the
Yeah.
one thing that does worry me.
Yeah, I have two thoughts to that because I certainly agree with you. How I always see these things is, you obviously have a way of looking at it economically, you have a way of looking at it through the investor lens, you have a way of looking at it through the political lens, but these are major macro geopolitical situations, and I always think about what is it message and what is the precedent that it sets somewhere else because we're the leader in that horse race. We
Mm-hmm.
establish precedent, nobody else does. And what does it say to, and I'm debating this in my head, Riz, based on what you said, but I've been thinking about it all weekend. What does it say to Xi Jinping, who's
Mm-hmm.
been favoring the thought of Taiwan? What does it say to, Putin and other dictators out there? Um, what's that message to some of those, number one? And then on the other hand, I think about, yeah, that's true. It certainly does give them a permission structure to invade Taiwan. Like it does. But China was going to make up a permission structure one way or the other. Um, this just kind of helps them in their argument. But on the other hand, Riz, there's not a military in the history of in the history of the world that could have pulled that off in that efficient way. And I also think that messages to these other countries as well from a geopolitical perspective. I find the situation fascinating, honestly. Um, I wish we knew kind of what the overall plan was. I do I do wish we had an understanding of what step
Yeah,
3, not just step 1. Um, but
and
fascinating time.
you're referring to the situation of the U.S. going and extracting another country's president, right? You're talking about
Yeah,
that situation, right? I
yeah.
highly agree with you on it. If there's not one way to flex, that is a real flex right there. We
I
just strolled
yeah.
into another country in the middle of the night and kidnapped the president while he was sleeping, and nobody stopped us.
In fact, they kind of opened the door until the last door.
Yeah.
And I think back to when Russia invaded Ukraine, and yeah, they've been in a stalemate for over 4 years, going on 5 now. And yeah, it'd be 4 years in. I think it's 4 years in February. But if you remember the initial 4 days of that war, when there's thousands of tanks on the border, jets flying overhead, missiles bombing into Kyiv, there's a lot of thought that that was only going to last a couple of days. In fact, the U.S. said Kyiv was going to fall. U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Agencies did. It obviously didn't. Russia, got caught in a stalemate, couldn't take Kyiv, and got pushed back out. But America, 2 hours. And so, yeah, they had some insider help, but extremely impressive out of the United States military.
Well, I think a lot of other countries try to flex on their capabilities, trying to match the US. And that's the only thing
Not going to
that,
do it.
that's the only thing that they've got, and I think this is the real
Yeah.
show of power is that, well, this is what we can do, and now you can see it on the world stage, so I think it's a very powerful message that was sent, I hope
It
it
was,
works
it
out for
was,
the folks in Venezuela. I hope it works out for
that's,
them.
they're not getting a lot of chatter right now because some of these macro big issues, but I'm right there with you on that, brother. Like, if you're going to take any actions in another country, it's got to be for the betterment of that country, period, end of sentence. And
Hmm.
that's a different conversation honestly. I do find it fascinating from a market. I don't see it having a big like stock market impact outside of energy and maybe finance,
Hmm.
but like in the commodity space, it's because Venezuela has so many commodities, and it's not just oil. It's natural gas. It's silver. It's copper. They're very rich on the metal class as well.
Hmm.
And it'll be interesting what happens if there's a government there that gets elected and wants to do business with the United States.
Well, I think anyone we put in power there will automatically by default be friendly with us. So it'll just be
I would
interesting to see the deals that's going to come.
I would agree with you 100%. I don't think it's going to be a debate on if this entity gets power or this entity. I think they're both going to be a little bit more friendly to the United States. Um, but I do hope, just
Mm.
not a market conversation, but I do hope that the opposition leader, the one who won the Nobel Prize, has this ultimate say in all of it.
Mhm.
That's a little bit of a different conversation, but it was interesting to see the initial response in the market. Obviously, whenever you have a geopolitical situation, gold's going to get a spike, and it just so happened to get a spike in a pullback right above the breakout channel at 4,400. That looks good on the daily chart. You talk about like a swing trade setup, pretty decent little swing trade setup there. Silver, like I do have a little bit of concern about silver, but not due to Venezuela. Honestly, it's more due to margin increases. If you guys are not familiar with that right now
Hmm.
we've seen margin increases in silver and gold last week, and they're most likely not done with margin increases. And I see Blas is here, and I'd like to get his take on this as well. But I read a report that J.P. Morgan was big time big time underwater when it comes to their short position in silver. And that's one of the reasons that we're starting to see margin increases and why we expect to see even more margin increases is because JP Morgan is so far underwater. Now, how much of that is truth versus speculation, I don't know. But I did find that interesting, and it wouldn't be the first time that JP Morgan kind of led the charge of margin increases in the commodity space. And people that have been here longer than a day, they do remember the last time we went through major margin increases, and that was back in 2011. And that put a top in the greatest silver run that we've ever seen up until this one. And so it's that I do have a little bit of concern on the volatility shift that we're seeing in silver, but still hasn't broke the 9 EMA. Just a little bit crazy right now.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
I don't know who it is, Blas, but they said it was J.P. Morgan, and they said it was Jamie Dimon specifically. If it was Jamie Dimon, which I'd be a little surprised to have him have such a massive short position on silver against that trend. It's not exactly what was wasn't exactly a hard fundamental backdrop, to be honest with you. The AI infrastructure build out, but I do believe there's some firms that are heavy on the short and they are underwater. The RBC, yeah, I'm still into the position trade on silver. I won't get out of that unless the 9 EMA on the weekly chart breaks. So I got some room to play with, but I am a little concerned. I am staying away from it on like swing trading though, Blas. Like it's actually got a decent swing trading setup, but it's just up down up down up down up down. Like that's not a good look. You're when you go from such a consistent trend to up down up down up down on all wide body candles, man, there's some battles going on there. And it's hard to project, honestly, outside of one day on silver right now. I got a little bit more confidence on the gold side, but gold's easy in this. Geopolitical activity, gold gets a bit. Geopolitical activity resolved, gold goes back down. Silver's a little bit more complicated, I would say.
Well, there's the break. I've been waiting for this thing to break for so long. This ain't funny.
I've been looking at gold all day that way too. Come on, break. Go. By the way, the level I'm anchoring on gold is the 63 level on the breakout.
Yeah, that's so sad that they're raising the margins just to help the people that are losing their shirts and their position.
Somehow that never happens to the retail side there, Riz.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
Wall Street cheating. They'll say it's normal due to volatility, but the margin increases are what creating the volatility. Fun.
We're trying to kill the momentum.
Bitcoin and Ethereum are both very interesting going into this week, though.
I want to see this breakout continue. Looks like it wants to break the downward trend. Still like on the 9 here on the 9 minute.
Yeah, the 5 minute in a reversal on the ES right now with the bear flag. Got to reclaim 69.50 to get back into some degree of bullish on the ES. Oh, Morrow. I'm not going to lie. That looks really good.
Oh, what is that? Lengua? You got some lengua tacos? Some of that meat looks like lengua. Oh, I knew it. Hey, Coach Matt, have you ever had tongue or lengua tacos?
I don't believe I have.
It's basically cow tongue and a street taco.
I'm going to have to try it.
It's delicious. If you find a street taco stand like by you, ask them if they either have that or even like a cachete, which is a cheek, and that's really soft as well. It's really good. Bitcoin looks like it's gonna break out. Come on, let's do it. I was like, my portfolio is kind of greenish right now. A little bit more greenish than it was earlier. What?
I would think the tongue would be soft. Yeah, Omar. I've never had it, though. Now I'm interested. I'm going to have to try it.
Oh, well, you'll like it once you try it. Oxtail? Okay. Never tried that. 8 hour slow cook. All right. Anything you slow cook is good.
This is accurate.
Oh, just close. So they're waiting for the imbalances to kick in. There's
That's
earnings
going to be
season going on
double
this
pop.
week. I'm sorry.
Say again, Riz.
Aren't there earnings going on this week?
Oh, earnings season actually kicks off next week. And this week,
I just dropped them in the chat.
Constellation, Albertsons, Commercial Metals, Air. Not very many names. Next week, we get Taiwan Semiconductor, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Citi, BlackRock, Bank of New York, Mellon. Lots of names next week. Kickstart. Banks kickstart earnings season. That Taiwan Semiconductor report is going to be a big one, too. Blas, I did not see what the Samsung CEO said about memory chips. What was it? I know what the Micron CEO said in the recent earnings report. They have demand for basically decades. Yeah, that's what the Micron CEO said as well, because they're the only ones that provide it really, and it's 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 not good. There is a shortage, and it's not good. I mean, it's good for Micron. I mean, since that earnings report, Micron's up 100 points.
Hmm.
Um, Two things I think on Netflix. I think the violation of 92 was a Bear breakdown, and we should respect that breakdown. I also think that that breakdown could absolutely come down into around 82 before you get to some major support levels there. And all things being relatively equal, that could absolutely happen in the same time frame of where we start getting into the next earnings report out of Netflix. And the lower Netflix goes in front of that earnings report, the more I'm going to like that earnings report, honestly. And so, yeah, I do think like 82 is a pretty important support level for Netflix. I also think you could say 85 is a pretty important support level for Netflix. Underneath 80, 82, like there's really nothing there until you start working into about 70 from a support perspective. So, yeah, I would agree with the 80-ish levels because that's kind of where that major support level is right there at 82 on Netflix. And so I certainly respect the breakdown recently. And that certainly I would suggest should see some continuation to the downside here. But Netflix is absolutely on my radar for any reversal analysis. It's a stock that I've targeted coming into this year. I'm not gonna try to fight the trend here. I'm gonna wait on a reversal, and if that reversal takes into account this upcoming earnings season, which is in about when's Netflix, the 20th? Yeah, it's the 20th after the market. Yeah, I'll definitely have some interest, but 82 is the support level I think you got to anchor against. It's a good call out on that. What's up, Nacho? How are you, mate? It's good to see you. Happy New Year.
Great trading there, Nacho. Glad to hear that your target's hit for you today. To the full ported Chevron. CXV.
If you would have full ported on the open, you would be down right now.
Yeah, you'd be underwater if you pull poured at the open. You would have to wait until about 30 minutes after. Then you'd be happy. Yeah.
Lots of love in the energy space today. Nacho. Same thing in finance too.
You have to understand is that Venezuela also is sitting on a butt ton of gold. They have a bunch of
Very rich
areas.
in metals class.
Yeah, they got a ton of gold over there too. So oil is just the tip of the iceberg there. There's so much more.
Everything to fuel the AI infrastructure build out laws.
You know, I was reading a
And
study that they were.
I think there's real Cold Wars happening across the board on that. Proxy wars, Cold Wars, you name it, between the major players out there.
I don't know how much gas is near me. I don't have a. We don't own any gasoline cars here at my house.
We're around mid threes, 350 plus.
Good one tomorrow. Good one. I like that. Make and turn your bicycle into a raptor. You can always get one of those costumes while you're riding around on it.
We got a balance is coming out in about 90 seconds, team.
That's right.
What days are you doing the Asian session, Blas?
He's doing them tonight.
Nice.
So they'll be live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for asking, by the way. Balance is out now. S&P sell side 1,233 million, sell side NASDAQ, sell side 505 million, Dow 493 million, Mag 7, sell side 596 million. So most of your imbalance is to the sell side.
Market is testing the low point over the last little bit. 41. Can't break that.
Looking at it.
Later, Omaro. I think the market wants to continue to test down here, Riz.
Looks like it.
Next level on the ES is 35.
I'm watching it. Trying to catch a bid here in the last three. We'll see what the Bulls do if they can. Oh,
As we
Last 20
conclude this first day
seconds.
here, Riz, what's your
Mhm.
general thoughts on the market's first day here this week?
I was really impressed with the moves we had. It looked like there was a lot of interest in the market today. Buyers and
Yeah.
sellers definitely showed up today to show that, they're back, they're ready for a new year. So I think it was a good, I think it was a good trading day. A lot of folks sounded like they made money across the board. So, I think it's going to be a good week.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I like the technical situation coming into the year. On the ES, the daily chart has a really, really clean technical story to be told here, and I'm very interested in that. I think it's the Bulls to lose here, so going to be an interesting week, no doubt about that.
Well, I agree.
Well, onward and upward, my friend.
Onward and upward.
All right, team and Riz, I will see you same time, same channel tomorrow for another edition of Power Hour. Riz, as always, my friend, I'll see you tomorrow.
You got it, Coach Matt. Thank you for popping in today. And thanks, team, for stopping in. Don't forget to check out those launch plans on sale for $59 and $69. And Coach Matt's mentorship class that happens each and every single Thursday here in the Discord. So if you guys haven't popped in already, then check out the Discord because we've got a great community and awesome content, and we'd love to help you get started in your trading career. From all of us at Blue Sky, thank you. Have a great day. Good luck in the market. We'll see you tomorrow morning at pre-market. Don't forget, you can catch us here. All right. Have a good day. Bye now.